Hello and welcome to you all. This is Pallavi and you are watching Indian Masterminds. This is International Women's Day, which is obviously a very special day. To make this more special, we have gathered together with few women who are helping in running this nation by handling important positions in administration. We will be talking about the contribution of women in bureaucracy and also why women are still not being able to outnumber men even when they have all that it takes to get into civil services. We have with us Ms. Hari Chandana Dasari, who is the collector of Narayanpet, Telangana, Ms. Shubham Chaudhary, who is the collector of Dungarpur, Rajasthan, Dr. Sudha Kumari, who is an IRS officer, a writer, and a painter, Ms. Rohini Divakar, who is also an IRS officer, a shooter, and a singer, Mrs. Smita Singh, who is an IRS officer, and Ms. Iti Pandey, who is an IRTS officer and a writer as well. All of them are doing exemplary work in their respective fields and fighting with all kinds of social issues while channelizing their energy to explore their creative interests as well. We'll begin by taking their opinions on women related topics and also talk about their various experiences. So we'll start by uh, Sudha ma'am. So I would like you to, share your opinion about this issue. Like why you think that women are still lacking behind in numbers when you talk about the numbers in administration. And like there are still very few women who gets into UPSC, like UPSC as a whole.
Thank you, Pallavi. It's a very nice initiative by you, and I think you are also doing exemplary work by bringing the people together. I mean, the female minds together, and I
Yes,
hope you
ma'am.
organize such events frequently. So
Mm-hmm.
I have noted since the beginning what
Mm-hmm.
hinders the women from joining the workforce, not just
Mm-hmm.
civil, but the workforce itself. First
Mm-hmm.
thing is, we are living in a patriarchal society, which has generally given a framework for the female role, which is behind the, inside the four walls of the house, and that is the general mentality. And that
Mm-hmm.
is the glass ceiling which we have to break.
Yes, definitely.
Since the ceiling is made of glass and glass is meant to be broken, so we must break it. We
Mm-hmm.
must break the glass ceiling and the concept itself. And we should only believe in one concept, that sky is the limit. There is no glass ceiling at all. So this kind of, and then second thing is ambition. I think the level of rise higher and higher, especially in the power and politics, you can also say, not just civil services, but in power. That ambition is a little less in women, that I have noticed. It is
Mm-hmm.
more in male minds than in the female minds.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, whenever I asked girls or young girls
Mm-hmm.
whether they want to join civils or not, they say it's so tough, and the competition is very tough, and they do not have that high level of ambition. So I think second is the level of ambition, which is slightly moderate among the females, and the
Mm-hmm.
fire is to be there. The fire
Yes.
should be within, because the real power comes from within. So
Yes.
that fire should be there.
Mm-hmm.
Third thing that I have noted, that there is less cooperation from the family members itself, especially from male members. And if the male members are also on board, they can help. They can ignite that ambition among the young girls. Then
Mm-hmm.
definitely they can try hard, and they can come into the civil services and any other area which is challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And another reason is that people are not only less in number in civil services; they are less in every
Yes,
area of work.
definitely.
So number has to be increased everywhere. That can
Mm-hmm.
increasing the literacy rate, because literacy rate is also less among the women. So literacy rate, then their training, that kind of training should be there. So I think that, uh, and one more reason why, especially in civil services, there are less females, because civil services about power, it is very challenging job. Also, that kind of a job, I think the nature of work itself is very challenging, especially. And I said last point, I said that the nature of work in civil services, especially in IAS and IPS, is very challenging. I mean, there is no time limit, 24/7. So I think the job there is so challenging. Many women do not, they do not find schedule which suits their requirement also. So maybe that may be one of the reasons.
Okay. So now, Rohini ma'am, so I would like you to, continue from where Miss Kumari left. And I would also want you to talk about when we talk about the toppers. So there, the women are, they are dominating. When you talk about the top 10 of UPSCs, but when you talk about the whole number, then it is very very low in comparison to men. So I would want you to talk about that as well, because it's clear that they have the potential, but still then they are not being able to at least come equal to the men in numbers in UPSC.
Yeah. I think you have said it all. It is basically the number of women participating in economic and political process. So if you have more number of women participating, naturally you will have more representation also, because there's no real difference in terms of competence or abilities. So if you are giving equal opportunities, then there are going to be more women who will participate in this economic and political process. And naturally, the number representation will increase at all levels, whether it is civil services, politics, banking, or any other sector. So it's basically affording an equal opportunity, a level playing field. That is important. Now, this equal opportunities are not afforded mainly because, as Sudha Kumari Madam has touched upon, mainly because of stereotypes. We have stereotyped roles for women. Women are seen to be, bearers of children and, makers of home, but not fit for, a princess outside the four walls of home.
Leadership roles. Leadership roles.
Leadership roles. So this stereotype is, ingrained in generally in the world, global society, particularly in Indian society. I do see that there are a lot of changes in this, and I see that there is a lot of change even in hinterland, but that is not sufficient. We have a long way to go. Some of the challenges in hinterland, why equal opportunities are denied is because of women's physiology. I see that I still hear articles and read about people, and also have interacted with a few of them, where women, due to their body, their anatomy, and their physiology, that is the monthly menstrual period and other challenges that they have to cope with, is not is seen as a hindrance for women to participate equally and to participate in if even in basic primary education. Absence of toilets, which has been very well highlighted by the Prime Minister. So these things go a long way in ensuring women participate equally. One is stereotypes. Second is again lack of infrastructure in terms of women's toilets, etc. And thirdly, it would be an actual patriarchal mindset, because when women actually step out and have taken on leadership roles, there is every attempt to pull her down by her colleagues, superiors, bosses, subordinates. Now, this is because of the patriarchal mindset. They do not like to take a command from women, and this is because there's a psyche in Indian man and world over global society, that women are not meant to command us. We are a superior, we are a superior gender, and how could a woman sit over our head? How could she be our boss? So this patriarchal mindset is another obstacle in women rising up in the hierarchy, in the ladder of process. So these are my views on that. We'll pitch in as the other speakers go ahead.
Yes. So, I would now want Hari ma'am to speak about one thing that ma'am pointed out. Rohini ma'am just said that women are seen as the bearer of child, maker of home. So do you think that this motherhood thing or taking care of family is kind of sometimes act as an abruption in women's career, like they are stopped because at some point of their life they'll be, bearing a child, they'll have to make a home, so they'll be denied, opportunities at specifically at top levels. You can
Thanks,
also share
Pallavi.
your.
Yeah, very nice talking to all the co-panelists here and all the accomplished women. So wishing everyone a very happy Women's Day first. Just sharing my experiences. Actually, the speakers before me, Dr. Sudha and Rohini ji, all of them have spoken the right points. Actually, I think the base is you are saying that women don't rise up to the top, but the concept itself is encapsulated in one word. We are just a reflection of the society. The services or any of the job profiles or even professional achievements are reflections of how the society itself gives that opportunity to women. So if they're given equal opportunities, like you said, they rise to the top, they become toppers and everything. So the concept starts from the society. And all of us, if you're talking about women as mothers, I in fact look at it as a positive force. We are all mothers of sons also. So if we start, not just us, if we spread the message as officers, we have the capacity to reach out to a lot more people and also impact policy levels and also create decision making opportunities. So if we as women and try to pull up other women and start from homes, let's teach them to start from their homes. So if we start teaching women that you are equally independent, you are equally capable of achieving what a boy in your house can. Simple things. I mean, it's not considered mandatory for a woman to hold a job before considering marriage, while the same thing is different for a man. So when you look at it, these are the social norms that we inculcate. So we make children think and subconsciously accept that this is my role. So if we as conscious mothers, and I'm a mother, and I can tell you in my job profile that being a mother has not stopped me from holding one of the most challenging jobs that can be held. I was sorry for my throat. I was municipal commissioner for Hyderabad, Greater Hyderabad Corporation, when I was having a baby. I just went on my maternity leave and I came back in like 5 months and joined the job back. And it was pretty accepting. I mean, I could do a very challenging job while being, I would say, trying to do justice to my baby also. So it's not hard if you have a supportive family. Like Dr. Sudha said, we have to have a supportive family who can take on, and you have to have an accepting family. So if we split the roles, we can easily manage this, and it's not hard for women. But like I said, it comes from society again. So if we start changing the perceptions that it is acceptable, it can be done, and we also try to share all the good examples that can happen with such balancing. You see that in the private sector also these days. Many men and women have started to balance out their roles and where the both of them are working. But if that has to spread, that has to increase more to bring out the parity in the society itself. So
Okay, ma'am. So now I would at least first want Iti ma'am to, share her opinions about the topic itself, the topic which we are discussing, that why we are still lacking in numbers, and also, you can talk about the points which have been raised by your fellow officers. Yeah.
So first and foremost, thank you, Pallavi, for having us on board. And I want to give a warm welcome and greetings on Women's Day to all my co-panelists. May our tribe increase and more power to us. On that very powerful note, I want to state a few statistics so that we know exactly where we are. So we have We have some kind of crime being committed against women every 3 minutes in our country.
Yes.
We have a rape episode every 16 minutes in our country. We have a very positive gender ratio, which is kind of gone in favor of women and which should have been the case well beforehand. But like in all developing countries, we have grappled with that. But now we are at like, I think 1,020 for every 1,000 male. Having that longevity, what has that longevity converted into? And if it is not converted into, why is that the case? I want to go to the literacy rates in our country. So if we say overall men are about 80% literate, women are somewhere hovering around 75%. And however, the dropout rates for women is much, much higher. Now come for employment. We have literacy at this higher rate, but employment for men and women range between 29 to 23%. And I'm talking of the urban areas. Why I am coming to civil services later is because just like the collector Narayanpet just mentioned, that we are nothing but reflections of the society. And I think that she has just hit the nail on the head. We are actually just continuing with the process with which we have been born. So while we have this kind of a dropout rate for women, those who have actually higher levels of education are merely 10 to 15%. And our representation in academics and in the scientific areas is much less than men. Coming to civil services, we have only one woman for 20 male in the IS proper. And if you look at the overall statistics for civil services, we are half of what men are. Okay, so we are standing at some 1,527 overall in civil services. Men outweigh us in big numbers. Now, why do we not, while we are topping the list, why do the others or why are the others being left behind? One of the reasons is, of course, your family. How much of family support do you have? Then there is this whole concept of roles. Gender roles. Women are supposed to be the caretakers. They're supposed to be running the house. So no matter I have a 24/7 railway traffic job, my husband is in the revenue service. He gets more hours, but my work hours at home and in office are much longer. Statistics also support the same thing, that women are supposed to provide 5 hours of free work, meaning they're not paid for it. For men, that statistic stands only for half an hour. Both my husband and I run this Pajot Foundation, which is an NGO started by my mom. And it is recruiting and helping civil servants, especially from Allahabad, place where I belong to get into civil services. We have about 1,000 plus aspirants from all over India, but 100 belong to Allahabad. Out of that, about 45 are girls. Now, girls cannot come out late in the night for classes. But online classes is helping them. I think that somebody's talking in between. Just please mute your mic. I can hear you, so it's getting a little this thing. Yeah. So I was mentioning that how safe are our workplaces and how safe is it for a girl to venture out? I read an article in the Business Standard where they've come out with the fact that, women are supposed to be married off by the age of 26. So you know what? If men are still giving attempts for civil services, which is like up to the age of 32 for both men and women, and women get concessions in filling forms about some 100 or 200 rupees less as compared to men, but women are mostly reappearing till the age of 26. Men are taking their full attempts up to the age of 32. Why the disparity? Because somewhere along the line, you must have heard about this debate which has come up, marriageable age for men and women, 18 and 21. And there is a fight for equality for that. Now, because I want to raise this because, most women, 60% of the women are married even before the age of 18. What do you talk of 21? Will a bill change that for us? Well, society has to do something about that. More important than this is how many women do you see visible as leaders in this movement? So if you have only about 12 women being cabinet ministers leading the team from the front, our percentage is a dismal 0.23% when we talk of women in powerful posts. I was reading about, how Made in India has come forward, and we have so many women entrepreneurs making it big, but the actual percent is just 6.1%. So if we need more civil servants to be coming from our gender, the change is not of empowerment per se. The change is of outlook, the change is of society, but women have to push themselves more. I somehow feel that empowerment is from outside. I always feel that self actualization is more important. We need to be more determined to push ourselves. And then I think that the role of women like us becomes very important because we are the visible faces of this tribe. And if we want to take them forward, we should be willing to push them out from wherever they are, in that safety net which they have made for themselves, but from where they need to move out. So, education, yes, education for both men and women, but women have to make that extra effort, especially with the onset of menstrual cycles. And the government is doing a lot for us. It's unfortunately getting pocketed somewhere. The government is going full strong. But, it remarks like, we invite rape or, we invite the kind of social injustice which is happening against us by some very responsible people of society is not to be taken. And for that, we need um, a kind of a campaign, a kind of a platform where it cannot be just a one-time episode like a Women's Day. It has to be an everyday thing. That's my take. And very valid points brought out by Rohini, by Connected Narayan Pate, because I'm sorry I missed out on your name. And of course, Dr. Sudha, who mentioned earlier, that she brought out how gender inequality is there. But for me, gender equity is very, very important. If there is equity, equality will follow because we are living now an economic world where the economics will dictate the social norms.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So now I'll move to Smita ma'am, and I want you to, I want you to talk about one topic which was highlighted by Sudha ma'am, and I think all of them spoke about it. Like, do you also think that women somehow, lack in ambition, like they don't they also don't see as leaders? That's why they don't go for bigger competitions, bigger exams. So I would like you to talk about that.
My greetings to all. All the speakers here have made very valid points, and they have touched based upon many critical issues which are very much important for our country. And what question you've just raised is about women being, how, the question was, just pardon?
Yeah, the question was like we have been brought up in a way that we only lack to be ambitious. Yeah. Like we don't.
So it's about women per se. That is some kind of visceral, some kind of internal lack of ambition you're pointing out. So yes. I believe that it is how we raise our kids. Women are not born with a set of kind of think or a set of ideas. Women is also born as a child, and she's empty. So it is a reflection of our society, as my previous speakers said, that whatever women is today is a reflection of our society, our gender notions, our gaps, our socio-economic status of society. So the webinar topic here that women are less in numbers, it is not about less or more. It is about how many women are participating in the exam and what is their success ratio. So if you analyze this question, then we find that women are just 30%, 25 to 30% women are taking part in this exam. So it is not about the lack of ambition. It is about the set of factors which promote a man or a woman taking part. And I think my previous speakers have set upon the challenges, the critical barriers in terms of social norms, in terms of gender roles, which act as impediments and bars for a woman. For example, if you take civil services, we are just 25 to 30%. If you take IS, we are just about 13-14%. If you take private sector administration, it's just about 24%. It is public sector, it is just 24%, 20-25%. The percentage marks are not important. The question is, we are just marginal. And just 3-4 days back, we had a survey, Pew survey. So Pew survey said that the gender role, it is the latest survey, 1920. The timeline for the survey among the Indian population is 2019 to 20. And we found that women, as far as the gender notions are concerned, Indian population, they want women to have their rights. But when it comes to have jobs, they don't want it. It is categorically clear. They say women should be obedient to men. They should be at home. So the primary, and here comes the primary caregiver, not just for children, for elderly population, who is taking care of society. And then one important question is about labor participation ratio. It is a very important parameter for a nation. Now, when it comes to India, we are having less than that of even Nepal and Bangladesh. It is deteriorating significantly. So how many women are working towards, economic ventures? Why is female labor force participant ratio, not just in civil services, not just in any kind of work, why is it less in India? So again, one question. And the other contradiction, very important contradiction, stark contradiction is, we are the fulcrum of economies. We are the fulcrum or the fundamental bed of all work in the system, in society as well as economy. We are the prime organizational force for labor, for agriculture, for household things, Sara ghar ka khana. I have, big commissioners in the evening. There would be a call 5:30. Aaj kya banna hai ghar pe? So aaj dal banni hai, kaun si sabzi banni hai? So it is again about role. Maybe I, as a woman, I am not ready. Ki aaj kya banna? I could ask my husband, aap bata do. Maybe he's ready, but still I have that psyche. Ki aaj main bataungi. So it is not that simple. It is very complex. And one thing from my personal experience I would like to share, before coming to the IRS in 2008, I was, Rohini knows, she's my batchmate. So when I landed up in NADT, I had a baby. Rohini, you remember. So I was a director for 6 years in UP. And then I had this 4-5 baby, and I was a mother feeding my child. And then I asked my academy. So my ADG was so cooperative. They said, Academy, National Academy of Direct Access is very supportive and very cooperative to women. And they allotted me a quarter just with the faculty. And here I was landed in the academy with a baby and with my parents and some support, and the local support I got there. And though no relaxation was made to my course curriculum, but there were other enabling factors like the support of my family, my parents, my husband, and I couldn't just leave my child. That was me biological urge that I had to feed my child. Yes, so you see the set of balances which need being women, a special role of as a progenitor, as a rarer. Though I believe that when you see the maternity and paternity, how many people are taking paternity leaves, even our offices? How many people are leaving? So a lot of questions to be thrown, and I believe change is happening. Not all is stark. It is a lot of good factors are coming up which are changing society. And this way change will happen. But again, as ma'am pointed out, Sudha ma'am and Iti ma'am and Rohini, that we need certain enabling factors. Only ambition or only intellect is not going to go. Women are not far behind on intellect. Otherwise, why would they top? They are just 30% participating out of the 100. And again, they are seeking the top. So there are resources. This exam is not just about intellect. Any exam for that matter in administration, whether it is a bank exam, a clerk exam, it is a lot of resources, lot of special training, lot of skills which are required. For example, the digital divide. So I believe it will take a long way.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So ma'am, now I would like, to talk to Shubham ma'am about few things which I noted from the other speakers, like what they have pointed out. I would like you to, talk about the topic, but at the same time, I also want you to highlight on one thing, which is like, in like the society and the surroundings which I grew up in, like mostly it's not that people are now aware. They will, push their girls, their daughters to, work, but then they'll also decide, or they'll somehow, convince you that you should take this role. Like for example, obviously teacher is a noble profession, and it needs our respect. It's most respected job, but still women are pushed to, go and do, B.Ed and go for teaching. Like rather than, if you say that like that you want to be a journalist, or you want to be in bureaucracy, or you want to be like any job which is, that your family or your people, co things, they think it will require more time. She'll have to give she won't be able to focus on the family, so they will, try to push you on the jobs which, you can manage the family and the job at the same time. So you think that this is the reason, this is also a reason, do you think this is also the reason why women don't, aspire for more?
A very good afternoon to all the speakers, the audience, and greetings for Women's Day. First of all, I would like to congratulate you, Pallaviji, and also Team Masterminds for organizing this webinar on such a pertinent topic. It's a topic that keeps coming up on our batch group, WhatsApp group as well. That, there are several times that you turn out to be the only woman in several meetings. So certainly there is a dearth of women in administration, and one of the reasons, I think I'll start with what you have just mentioned, that one assumption is that, in administration or in certain kinds of roles, you will have less time for maybe managing the household. And other jobs turn out to be more preferable, even in families which are otherwise encouraging their girls to work. So I have myself, before this, taught at Delhi University before I joined the IPS and then IAS. And, very well-meaning people who absolutely love me, but, elders, relatives, there have been, comments like, why civil services is such a good job. Teaching is, a great job, and इसमें आपको घर के लिए time मिल जाएगा. That is what, I myself heard so many times. And true as that may be, and it was actually a job that I absolutely loved. But I think the reason why I loved it is the intellectual stimulation that I got from, interaction in classes, in with the students, with fellow colleagues, rather than the fact that you would get time for doing your household work. So this assumption that we find, I think that comes from this expectation that it is the role only of the woman to manage the house. There was this series on Netflix that I was watching recently released, called Fame Game. And there's this one, police officer in that, a lady police officer who who is trying to find a lead on a case, and she has not been successful so far. So her boss tells her, and this is something that has stuck with me, which is why I would like to share it. And her boss tells her that, you have a child, you must be busy with all of that. So I will transfer the case to some other colleague of yours, a man in this case. And then she says कि नहीं, मेरा एक बच्चा है, उसके तो 2 बच्चे हैं, तो उसके ऊपर तो double pressure होना चाहिए. So that is, I think that was a very good answer, and I think that kind of responsibility has to be shared between both the partners in be it husband and wife, or with the family and so on. I think the basic issue is that that I would like to point out here is how the society is judging women and how the society is judging men. Those things are different. a point had been raised about ambition, a difference in ambition with regard to men and women. And I think, again, that is, if at all that is the case, I think that is coming from the fact that we are valuing different things, different things when it comes to judging men versus judging women. With women, we are often, valuing maybe beauty, maybe how they are managing their personal life. With a man, we are valuing ambition, we are valuing, how well they are doing professionally. And this is something that we see everywhere. So unless and until we are giving an equal opportunity, we cannot be judging them on, we cannot be saying that, the women have, I think, less ambition, because the thing is that we are not giving them the same opportunity in the first place. Again, I'll explain this through an example, what I'm trying to say. We often say that women don't understand maps. या लड़कियों को रास्ते नहीं याद रहते. So I don't know if there's anything biological about it, because what I feel is that, when a guy turns often 15, 16, even less than the legal age, he is given a bike or a scooter to ride in so many households. Women, on the other hand, they will not be allowed to go out on their own. So the man who has started, or the boy who has started at a younger age, who has, who is not told about these time limits, itne baje tak ghar aana hai, and he has a vehicle, he has a means of commutation. So naturally, this person is more likely to know the different ways and, understand maps better and be able to navigate better. So I think the fact that we have not given them an equal opportunity in the first place, that explains a lot of these assumptions, or a lot of these things that we conclude about women in general, or the woman's ability. I personally believe that there is no dearth of talent among women. Every day when we visit different institutions, different schools, we talk to other women officers, women colleagues, women subordinates. I don't believe there's a difference in talent at all. There's absolutely no dearth of talent. The reason that there might be fewer women in administration is that, first of all, the kind of energy, the kind of financial resources, and the time that is required for preparation for civil services or other competitive exams, for that matter. So, even the kind of education that it requires to be successful, women are very often not getting the same kind of opportunity. And also, one very important point that one of the speakers had raised was that sometimes coaching requires being sent away from home. Parents are not always ready for something like that. I think another issue that is there is that we live in a society where hypergamy is the norm. So the woman is expected to marry into a family which is maybe more well off. The guy is supposed to be more educated as compared to the woman. And when you when you achieve something which is big in this sense, maybe the civil services or so on, then parents believe that it will also be more difficult to find a groom. And marriage is one thing that we give a lot of importance to in our society. So marriage is one thing that parents will always think about. Ever since I think the girl child is born, parents start thinking about it. So when it is difficult to find a suitable groom in this context of hypergamy, I think that is another reason that adds to it. And of course, the reason that you mentioned that घरेलू कामों के लिए जो है वो समय नहीं मिल पाएगा सिविल सर्विसेज में, या दूसरी जॉब्स जो हैं वो ज्यादा सूटेबल हैं. तो ये सारे रीजंस मुझे लगता है कि हैं, but nevertheless I think things are not all stark, as another speaker mentioned as well, and we have a lot of changes happening. Yes. And with the more awareness, with more awareness about our own rights, with more if we play this role, especially as civil servants or social activists, if we can play this role of encouraging women to just believe in themselves, to if we encourage this notion that we are just as good, we deserve just as much as men, So I think that can definitely lead to a lot of change.
Okay. So now, ma'am, I have one question for you all. Actually, I, took it from one of you only. Like, I think Smita ma'am mentioned about paternity and maternity leaves. She, talked about like still the guys are not, they are not told, or they are not, kind of you need to take appreciated for taking paternity leave, while obviously the government and the laws allowed women to take maternity leaves, they do. But here in the recent times, I have seen some cases, like some officers only. Since we are talking about the bureaucracy, so I will stick to that. That some officer, came to the office while, just after, giving birth in a month, or maybe I read about an officer who just came after 2 or 3 days after her delivery in the office. I know, like, and this incident itself, start a discussion about this thing. Like, people have fought, females have fought, to take this 1 day leave for menstrual cycle and for this maternity leave. At the same time, when women are, if women are not taking their maternity leave and they're coming to the office, they also want to, try to prove a point that nothing can stop us. But do you think this kind of attitude is nice, or it will go big way, that like proving ki, even if you have a child, we don't need paternity leaves, we don't need menstrual leaves, we don't need anything, we are as equal as men. And so do you think this kind of is going to help us in the longer run?
Should I start?
Yes, ma'am, anybody can speak. This was open to.
Yeah. Actually, see, I think we all have converged on one point. Rather, many points we've converged on. All speakers have agreed that we have natural maternal instincts, and we all want to fulfill this instinct. We all want to fulfill this biological need of giving birth and taking care. So it's a natural need, and this is being very well recognized world over across employers, government, corporate. The very idea of giving maternity leave legitimately recognized with pay. Yeah, so this with pay maternity leave legitimately recognized and accorded by employers across shows that there is it's a recognition of the fulfillment of natural needs of giving birth and feeding a child. So are we not inviting an extra burden on ourselves when this is legitimately recognized and is a very natural process? To go against this natural process and to prove a point, is it required? Is it worthy? And is it good for women in general? This might just set a wrong example. Of course, every woman has her choice. She might just want to take on challenges. No condemnation on that part. But it's a question we all have to answer. We already are actually multitaskers. We take pride in multitasking, though it has its own ramifications. I don't like women being, women being honored or venerated as multitaskers. I don't want to be a multitasker. Let's be natural. Let's be ourselves. We also have our own natural needs. Giving birth to child and feeding them is another natural need of a woman. There's nothing inferior about it. Rather, it's a matter to be proud of. So, is it really sending out any correct signal to be joining back to your duties just after a few days after your birth, when actually you are legitimately afforded or accorded paid maternity leave? It is a question. It's questionable, and my personal views would not be so favorable. So the other speakers may pitch in their opinion.
Okay.
So I'd like to take it from Rohini. You know what? I frankly feel that, stereotypes need to be broken about women in general. So if a woman's coming 2 days later after her giving birth or delivery, it has got nothing to do with her instinctual behavior taking care of the child. Child is most important. Maybe she has a support system. Maybe she can go back and feed the child. Or her husband's taken a paternity leave, which is legitimate enough. If there is a visibility of a woman breaking the ceiling glass and coming out of it, I don't see anything incorrect in that. Yes, we are over assigned the role of being the caregivers. We are over assigned. There is just no doubt about that. I mean, given a choice, it's always the women who stay back to look after a child, even if we are working. If we are working, I remember my husband took paternity leave, and when I had my second child, and he was in office every other day. Now, of course, he had work with him, but the fact remains that men find it a little hinge to stay back, a little circumvented. It depends from men to men. But we generally see that a lot of men come in from into civil services from the feudal states. It's a big challenge for them to accept another woman from the civil service having the same amount of, maybe wielding the same amount of authority. I frankly speaking feel that, we have the government, yes, does take good care. In fact, the time when I had my child, we had only 3 months of maternity leave. Now it's been extended up to 6 months. You also have something called child care leave, which you can extend up to 2 years to take care of your child. A lot of benefits. The menstrual leave has not come through. But just like the pink box we have for sure harassment, maybe the menstrual leave might come along, and it should soon come along. But besides this, if we have good support systems, I don't see anything as to why we should break into our careers just to bring up a child. A child is the equal responsibility of men and women. Women more because she is the mother, of course, she's given birth, and she has her own physiological body which needs to accommodate. But if you look at Bollywood, very soon, within a month's time, all actresses are fit and fine, and they're coming back and doing the job even less. And sometimes we find a lot of civil servants also joining office in the first week. The hue and cry has happened only because the woman has chosen to come back on the second day. The mother gives birth to a child, and the husband joins back office the very next day or even the same day. There's no cry about that. So if we need to change, and we are the change harbingers of change, I feel we have that leadership role. I do not feel that we are compromising in anything in coming back to office, provided that our physical body and that the caregiving to the child is not compromised. If that's not compromised, I don't feel anything wrong in that. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay. So now I would like, Smita ma'am to, she only, mentioned this point, and now we are discussing about it. So I would like, you to talk about it. And obviously, since we are already running late, so I would like to, wrap it up your message also for, for the women and the girls who wants to be in bureaucracy. So a little a message for them.
Pallavi, I think it's maternity is a right, and it's a personal choice. So while a woman gives birth, so it is her right to ascertain her situation. She should assess what her health status is, what her personal and professional commitments are, and then she should take a decision. And we are no one to cast aspersion on anyone or to decide what she should do. So my personal take it, let us not be judgmental about one single incident of that social media where that lady joined early. So one should not be judgmental about it, and it's a matter of personal choice. And vis-a-vis all women taking part actively, I would like to say there are many women who have broken the glass ceiling, and there are many women who have arrived. In some sense. So I think it is there, and as bureaucrats, it's their responsibility rests on them to take larger roles. It is not that women are lagging or they have set off some deficient conditions. It is the society who has the issue, not the women, not the officers. So if the system is not wanting to women head a certain police or certain CBI or certain post in the administration, so it is not a problem for women, but women should fight for it and should take a larger role for themselves. So it's all about, it's not been the easy way also. If you see for the voting rights, any right for the women, it's not been easy across the world. पूरे दुनिया की यही कहानी है. तो इसके लिए हम सबको प्रयत्न करना पड़ेगा और बहुत कोशिश करनी पड़ेगी. Thank you.
Okay, so now I think Sudha ma'am is also back. I want I think she is the senior most, maybe not the senior most, but she is senior officer. And उनके और अभी के समय में, I think in bureaucracy only, if you are talking about it, तो उसमें there have been a stark change. So I want you to talk about the things which you saw has changed, and also a message to the upcoming generation who wants to be in bureaucracy and civil services.
Okay, Pallavi, in my time, because I'm 1989 batch, in my time, it was really very difficult to get into the civil services. And the girls who joined were considered the lucky few. But now I think the mentality has changed. People want, even the parents want their children to join the workforce in general and civil services also. So people are encouraging, and even children are coming up. So time has changed a lot. Now maternity leave has also increased, because apart from maternity, there is child care leave, which is available for more than a year. So now there is support from the government also. Even after becoming a mother, one can get time and for rearing his child also. Maternity is a beautiful phase of life. It is a bliss. So it is a good thing for a woman if she has attained motherhood. It's a very beautiful thing and a blissful thing also. So it helps her in the future also, because she has a family to support. These things are good. Change here in outlook, I see that girls are girls are getting literate, girls are getting educated, even parents want them to join the workforce. So many people have come up. Time has definitely changed. I think in my time, although I came from a very orthodox family where civil service was not even, a common thing, but I wanted to become a doctor, an MBBS doctor. And it was my father and my elder brother who said, no, you should join civil services. So I think they were ahead of their time. Now, message for the society. I think the reporting of women working outside civil services, in politics, in any other field, that should be reported. Their positive things, their achievements should be reported properly. And for that purpose, I think reporters like you should also be there. So we need more women reporters also, because the reporting, we are lacking in reporting also. I know that there are several women doing the job. They're doing good work. In fact, even if they do not join the workforce, they're already working at home. They have a double engine kind. They are working like a double engine. We are working at both at the outside, also at home. So I think that should be reported. Their good things, their achievements, their aspirations should be highlighted in the newspaper, rather than showing how she is looking beautiful in a skirt, and her top is so good, how her bag is. Whenever a foreign dignitary comes, or anybody, a powerful lady, and people and reporters especially, they will focus on her personality, what she is carrying, or how she looks. It's women is not about looks only. Women is about she has good heart. She has a compassionate heart. The beauty of her heart, the beauty of her mind. She is not just beautiful from outside. Woman has a beautiful mind. She has a beautiful mind. So that beautiful mind should be seen, and her those things should be projected. But I see very less projection of women in newspapers and social media. Everywhere I see it is a male who is being projected, as the achiever. Women's achievement is somewhere going unnoticed. So I think reporters like you should also be there, much more in number. And thank you so much. And I'm very happy to interact with the co-panelists here. It was a very nice occasion. I hope more such occasions will be organized in the future. And I hope for the future of the women. Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you all.
Thank you. So now I would like to, take the closing comment from Shubham ma'am as well. Like Sudha ma'am said, we shouldn't be, focused on celebrating the women for their beauty, but for their beautiful mind as well, for their compassionate heart, for their personality, whole and soul. So on that note, I would also want you to talk about like what needs to be changed, and your message to the youngsters, young women specifically.
I think just a couple of things. To the woman, I would like to say, to the young girls that, you should just believe in yourself, believe that you are no less than any other person, be it male or female. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve if you really believe in your goal, and plus you want to, you are willing to work hard for it, be it civil services or be it any other goal for that matter. Secondly, I think for the parents, my message would be to treat their sons and daughters the same way, and to make sure that we are not denying opportunities to the women and then blaming them for being less ambitious, or blaming them for not understanding maps, like I said, or so on. And thirdly, I think my message would be to the men in our lives, the men in our society. And I would just like to say that, you have just as much of a role as the women do in, taking this message forward, and ensuring that, the women around you feel that they that they are no less. So it is not just women who should be promoting that message, but also I think men have just as important a role. And once again, I would like to wish everybody a very happy Women's Day, and also congratulate you and your team. This was a wonderful webinar. I really enjoyed interacting with all the co-panelists and our seniors. So this was a great opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yes. So, like obviously, we talked about and discussed about so many things, which actually I haven't planned, but I got enriched from this conversation, and it was really nice to interact with you. I learned a lot from you guys, and I know we can be discussing these for for endless time, maybe for one day, and still the topics won't be complete. But I think things are changing, and you all guys and all the women who are doing good at their positions, they are the flag bearer of what we believe and we want the society to look like. So on that note, I would say thank you to you all for your time, and a very happy Women's Day, and you guys keep inspiring us, and this was really nice experience. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pallavi. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Thank
Pallavi.
you.
And thank you, co-panelists. Thank you.